Hello everyone, welcome to another card tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how I very quickly whipped up this adorable birthday card. I'm going to start off with some white cardstock on my stamping platform and I'm going to cover it in anti-static powder. What I love about embossed backgrounds is that you can use any stamps that match your theme. Today I'm using the Pretty Pink Posh birthday borders and I love these because it makes this whole thing so much easier. These big stamps are in strips of themed images. I've got some candles, some cute birthday icons and a row of presents. What makes making backgrounds like this really quick. At first I was going to do one row at a time, so as you can see I'm just working on that first stamp here, but after embossing it I realised it would be much quicker if I did maybe 2 at a time. I would do 3, but my embossing ink is getting on a little bit and I was worried that maybe that wouldn't work so well, but 2 worked really well, so this sped up the whole process so much. It's a little hard to see all of this embossing work, especially because it's white embossing on white cardstock, but I love the effect that you can get when you then put some ink over this. It kind of reminds me of that invisible ink that you then put the UV light on and you can suddenly see it. Once you ink it up with your coloured inks, all of these cute images are suddenly revealed. So while I did cover this whole piece of cardstock with embossing powder at the very beginning, I then also topped that up throughout, just to ensure that this embossing powder isn't sticking where I don't want it to. Once my background was stamped and embossed, I then rounded all my corners. Now let's get started on this beautiful rainbow. As you can see, I have all of my gorgeous inks out. And all I'm going to do is start with red and make my way through the rainbow. I'm using my blending brushes today and my foam tools, just depending on what I have that matches the inks. I'm going to apply this quite heavily, as I like my colours to be really bold. And then once I move on to the second colour, I'm then going to grab the brush from the first colour and then just blend that bit where they meet up. That makes such a huge difference. I'll leave you with a little bit of music as I finish this rainbow. Now that my rainbow is done, I'm then going to flick some white gold watercolour pigment over the top for a little bit of sparkle. For my sentiment today, I'm simply using my Giant Happy Birthday by Fawn. I've cut that from some plain white cardstock and some black cardstock. And as you can see, I've put a little bit of each of those inks that I've used for my background onto my mat, and I'm simply going to water that down and sprinkle it over this sentiment. This is just so that this isn't a stark white on a beautiful background. It adds just a little bit of colour that's tied nicely into the background. Now that my background is dry, I'm going to add some double-sided tape to the back. I noticed that my background was just a little bit bigger than what I usually do, and because of that it went all the way to the edges of my card base, so I rounded the edges on that too, just so that it had more of a seamless look. My favourite way to add dimension to dies, especially big sentiments like this, is to offset them just a little bit on a darker piece of cardstock to give it that shadow. So what I'm doing here is just using some PVA glue on the white cardstock, and I'm going to place it down on the black just a little bit off centre. I added a bunch of foam squares to the back and then adhered this onto the front of my card. And then it was done. That card was so simple and it looks so pretty. I hope you love it too. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give this video a thumbs up and please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.